Hello and welcome to Sacred Foundation. This is our February 2022 card pull and reading. I'm Julia Freiner here with Jill Chesrow. Jill, I'm super excited about this reading.
I am too, especially because we spend a little bit of time chatting before we hit the record button. And this is just a beautiful time in general for all of us, and great time to deepen our sacred foundations. I had to turn my phone on, do not disturb, sorry. Okay.
Yes, it is a great time. And we are recording this the January 31st, which it is a new moon time, which is also a beautiful time to really it's just adding an extra dose of wonderful, juicy medicine, wonderful, juicy energy to this reading as well. So should we just jump right in?
Yes, before we go into the cards that we pulled for February, this is a standalone reading. So if this is the first time you are joining us, welcome to Sacred Foundations. If you were with us for January, the final cards in the pull from last month were Inner Sage. There were two of them. So there was Inner Sage and Pathway to Inner Gold. So we are hoping that you were able to really kind of go within and tune into your own inner wisdom and really awaken or deepen your connection with your inner sage. So while this is, again, a standalone reading for February, we're going to talk about the theme and the information that came up that's going to assist us all collectively and individually with building or deepening our sacred foundations. If you're building from month to month, you'll want to also kind of remember that you're staying connected to your inner sage as you grow, expand, and evolve in this month. So hopefully that made sense. I'm going to share my screen. Yay! Ta-da! February's cards.
I love it.
So Jules, you wanna start?
Yeah, so is it called the Cross of Truth? I always call it something and I never know if I'm saying it right, but to me it's the Cross of Truth.
That is the name, yes.
Okay, perfect, I said it right. Yeah, so the bottom card is our first card that is pulled, the one that is Mother Blessing. And this is the base card for the month. So this is just asking for me, this is what's saying, is to just really get back to Mama Earth, come back to a groundedness. And I know that we're hearing that and saying that so much these days, but really just sitting and being present. And as we come into Imbolc, which is the cross quarter between winter solstice and spring equinox, to me, this time, February 2nd, 3rd, 4th, this is when we blend winter. Winter begins to wane and spring begins to wax. So thinking of, when you're doing a grounding practice, what is happening deep within the earth? There's like an excitement. Things are starting to warm up. And this Mother Blessing for me is saying, let's go really, really deep and start seeing what is wanting to awaken within yourself as well. Jill, do we want to go through the whole read, or do you want to add your portion to this as well before we go into the rest of the cards?
Go ahead and finish the read, because I'll enter it from a little bit different of an angle, and then people could really kind of tune in and see how they can combine the information that's being revealed, or one thing will illuminate for one person and something else for another person. So I feel like for this one, go ahead and go through the whole reading as what's coming up for you.
Perfect, because that's what I was feeling too. So I think that's incredibly, we're aligned. And speaking of alignment, the number 2 card is Divine Alignment. And this is in the position of your hopes, your fears, the overlying sense of this. And so I'm going to take this from the perspective of, you know, grounding practices with Mother Nature, with Earth, and coming into alignment with yourself in that. This card is incredibly beautiful, and we'll speak just a little bit afterwards as what else came up for me on this card, but this is that which is just outside of this particular reading right here. But this card is asking us, when we get really grounded with nature, with Mother Earth, begin to become in alignment with that, finding that center for yourself. And alignment is your true north in a sense. And we're always having to come back into that, coming in also with resonance with the frequency and vibrations of Earth herself. And so sitting with this, knowing that you are in divine alignment. I love that most of these cards are purple, which is the higher chakras. And that I'm feeling this sense to be really grounded before we come up and out of the body, out into the higher chakras. So that feels really important. Phoenix Rising is the third card. And this card is about coming into the helpful energy. Well, I just have to say, I don't know if Jill will be upset. This is one of Jill's cards. This is her art. That's why I paused, because I wanted to say that. And we did spend some time speaking earlier today, and Phoenix Rising was just, it came up for her, and it feels appropriate to have it in the reading. An additional dose of her energy as well is being infused in this, I feel. Phoenix Rising, the helpful energy is to know that if you are going to rise, you also have to be grounded. Being that bridge between. And in this card, you see the heart in the center. That heart space is that center place, that part that we come back to and that we can expand to, whether it's up and out or down and into Mama Earth. It's all required to be in divine alignment. We have these bodies for a particular reason. Right? We are in these bodies, and we're asked to embody that beautiful earthen temple of who we are, of who you are as you're moving through this, your sacred foundation. The fourth card is Bravery, and this could be the obstacle. And I love that this position of this card is that one that takes us into the three lower chakras, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus. And we can see that in the colors. And then you also have this mix of the divine feminine and divine masculine, light and dark. And the image of this card stands bravely between the two. She's holding her own. She's standing her ground. She is very brave. And that's just an invitation to me of the obstacle is when you feel obstacles coming up this month, to stand your ground and really get curious. What is in the way? What am I not seeing? And it's also an invitation, I believe, to not bypass, but to have that vision on the other side and go straight through it. Whatever the obstacle may be, whatever is coming up for you, know what it is that you want on the other side and go through, meeting it right there. And then the outcome card, is the fifth card, Playful Voice. This is just so important. Whatever happens, whatever is going on, to keep yourself in that state of playfulness, remembering that everything isn't so heady and you have to be a certain way, you have to act a certain way. Be you. Allow your inner child to have voice. Allow yourself to play and be free. And as we talked about being really grounded, and if you just even looking at these, the four lower cards, when you get to Playful Voice, it's like, let's get out and enjoy ourselves. Life is meant to be fun. And the only person who can bring you happiness is you. And we have to have that mix of doing and being. And somewhere in between, that requires you to just be you, to be who you are. So get out, have fun, play, get grounded, get serious, but keep it light for yourself. It's kind of what's coming up for me right now. Jill, how about you?
So I love everything that you shared, and this ties in my mind. And I'll just say it in a little bit different of a way. So I really get the energy of 4 with the mother blessing card, and 4 is about stability. So that groundedness, right? Which you talked about. Um, so what does stability look like in your life? Like, what does it mean for you to be stable? What makes you be able to say, all right, right now I feel stable, which is great. I mean, that's a great feeling. That's what building a sacred foundation is all about. And then within that stability, life has ups and downs, like we talked about, last time. I probably bring it up all the time. And so having that stable base and that stability doesn't mean that you're not going to have the ups and downs, but you have that stability, that stable base. There's a lot of feminine energy wrapped throughout this entire reading. So I really feel the essence of the divine feminine in there. When we think about the divine mother, obviously that's the divine feminine energy, which is all about nurturing and filling your own tank first. And what does nurturing look like for you? Do you need to nurture yourself more and nurture some area of your life? So with that thought as the base, really kind of tuning into that, then that brings us into divine alignment as hopes and fears, or how you really feel about it. So how do you feel aligned? Do you feel aligned would be the question. And what would alignment feel like for you? So what does stability feel like for you? What does divine alignment feel like for you? And really that kind of connection between doing and being, the receptive and then the active principles, and bringing that into your core, your center. The helpful energy card, which is all about Phoenix rising. So what is ready to be let go of, what feels like, maybe something fell to the ashes, and instead of thinking, gosh, that's just so awful that, that this is gone, or that this went to ash, but within that ash is this rebirth and this rising up. So it's a good thing. Feel the feelings of something that didn't work out the way you wanted it to, but know that this is a rising energy, and a lot of creative energy with that fire there. Which brings us to the obstacle energy, which also has a lot of fire energy to it, to me. And I want to add that the Bravery card was created by a young woman who was 13 at the time, and 13 is the number of the goddess. So that's another way that I feel a lot of feminine energy in here. And with the feminine energy, there really is that sense of standing in that stable place of knowing who and what you are. Most of the people that are attracted to the work that Julia and I do are women. So not that we don't work with men, but we work with a lot of women that are really into embracing their empowerment and actively, what is their voice and coming into themselves. That takes bravery. It really, it does. You would think just being your true essence and expressing your true self would come easy, but really it takes a certain level of bravery in there. I do want to read, it's such a short passage that this young lady has for this card, but it ties into the final card of Playful Voice. So this woman says for the Bravery card, fight your fears as if they were dragons. Stand in the wind and face them with love. Be brave, be free. So with that essence of freedom in the obstacle energy, ask yourself, like, where do you not feel free in your life? Like, where are you feeling constricted or constrained, and you're longing to be free? What does that feel like to you? Because that's going to lead right into Playful Voice, which, I mean, the little girl's holding a balloon. She's up in the air, and she is truly free. She's let go of a lot of heavy energy, and she's just free to create, to express. And with that divine feminine energy and the fire energy, there's a lot of creativity energy in here. So what does being creative look like for you? You know, how do you express that active fire energy, your creativity and your passion? And how can you do it in a fun, playful way? So those are all questions for you to reflect on and just kind of tap into the energy of this reading and see what messages really resonated with you, what images stand out for you on the cards, or with the words that we said. Like, did anything illuminate for you? You know, we love it when people take notes when the reading's being given, to just jot down what's coming up for them. So if you didn't do that already, maybe, you know, pause the video and reflect now, or go back and listen again and take some notes to see if there was anything specific that came up for you.
Mhm.
How awesome. I love the artists that created these cards and messages.
Yeah, me too. And I love that you read that, because for Bravery, because I was going to read that afterwards. So I'm so grateful that you chose to read that. It's so important. And yeah, and bringing up that number 13 is huge as well. Yeah, there's a lot of questioning in the world today about staying free, and what are your freedoms, and where's your personal sovereignty and autonomy. And in there, you will find that divine alignment. So good. So good. Thank you, Jill.
Thank
Do
you.
we want, yes, do we want to share a little bit about what we have a new offer. We have a little offer. Do we want to share a little bit about that?
Sure. So Julie and I both work with people individually, separate from each other, but we also work with clients who are wanting to go on a deep dive with their sacred foundation. So we have an offering where we work with an individual one-on-one virtually via Zoom, but in real time, where we do a sacred foundation card reading for the individual. So there's a lot of interaction as far as what's going on in your life, and what are the cards revealing for you to really either build or deepen your own sacred foundation. And you meet with us together for a session, and then there will be one session with Julia on her own where you guys work on different aspects, and then there would be a session with me where we work on a specific aspect. And then again, our final session will be the three of us together and wrap the session up. So you can find out more information about that offering below. We'll have a link for you to click on. And it's powerful work. Of course, we're a little biased, but our clients do say that the work is very transformative. So Jules, do you have anything to add to that?
I just am super excited. I think what a gift to be able to birth this into the world right now and to share with other people. So thank you, Jill, for we've just spent 2 hours together before this, and I will say that the healing that took place for us and the ahas and the opening are very, very, very powerful for me. And I look forward to being able to share that with others. It's part of my sacred foundation is my time with Jill. So thank you, Jill, for co-creating with me.
Thank you. And thank you to everybody who joins in or reaches out to us in a separate space to let us know what's going on for you. We love to hear it. So, all right, everybody, that wraps up February's theme. Later in the month, we will do a meditation and frequency session based on the energy of these cards. So we hope to see you then. Bye-bye.
Take care.